Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Airport CEO Strategy and Tactics Episode 4. So, in our last episode, we went ahead and got our avgas infrastructure set up, laid out about, all said and done, about $100K for it all, and then started giving avgas away for pennies. Not because we wanted to make money off of avgas, but because we wanted to make more money off of landing fees and stand parking, which they are willing to pay up and pony up with higher prices, or rather put up with higher prices, in exchange for that sweet, sweet cheap gas, half of our visitors who don't use anyway. So yeah, it works out in our favor to say the least, but we need to expand operations even more. So we've built up a cool 122K here over the course of just 2 days, just letting the planes do their thing. So we're now ready to continue. Alright, so what we want to do here is, first off, we do want to expand out our operations here, but we do want to get another runway involved. And before we bring any of these others online, we want to get that runway ready and raring to go. So let us go about doing that. And actually, we might as well have the day cooking while we're doing this, because, well, not much is going to be going on at night. But this will give us a chance to get our stuff up and running here. Actually, while we're doing construction, we'll pause, just so we don't inadvertently get shipments of boxes that we're just using for measuring purposes. We're going to get ourselves another small stand, and once again, we'll be doing roadside facing inwards along with this one. We are going to be doing more grass taxiways here. 500, and then over like this. Now here, as you can see, this doesn't quite merge with this, so we're actually going to send it downwards. Now, does that mean we're going to be sending these planes against the flow of traffic? Heck no! I wouldn't be expanding up here unless we had another avenue for planes to depart, so that we keep the flow of traffic along this central taxiway flowing in the same direction. But we still have some more stuff to do here. Now here we're only going to bump things out by 2 up here. We're going to place ourselves another small stand. Once again, this one we're going to flip on its side like so. And then finally the pièce de résistance, the small runway. Now, this small runway, we are going to pop over. What we want the end to be along the line of that down there, but we want to give it enough room so that there's some wiggle room for taxiing, for windproofing it. More on that in a little bit. So this, I think, is the best place to place it. Boom. And then we can belly up our taxiway and hook it all the way up here, like so. We'll lay out the cash for windproofing it in a little bit. Do I have the right spacing here? Hang on, let me just make sure I have the right spacing before I commit to... Yes, I have perfect spacing. We're good. So what we're going to do here is we're going to send that upwards like that. We'll send these down like that. And what we're going to do is we are going to, well, since I know these will take care of themselves, we are going to, oh, wait a minute. Ha ha ha. You almost outfoxed yourself, Pinstar. That's the wrong column. Ooh, glad I caught that. 1 second, folks. Okay, that's much better. Much better. Glad I caught that. Alright, so this will go up to here. This will hook up to... Oops. Oh, did I kill that foundation? Let's unkill it. That's better. And that's better. And for the pièce de résistance, we're going to sever this connection. All right. Oh yeah, and we can take out our spacers. All right, let's see what kind of a construction job this is going to be. 52. Oh, I'll hire all 80 because I know both the stands and the runways require many people. So we'll get everybody in for this job. And I just realized I overspent by 20K. But that's okay. We'll make that back in a timely manner. As I've said before, there just barely not quite enough people to handle everything. Ah, well. Boy, you can hardly see the people against the nighttime winter fields here. Aviation, opened the stand. Oh, it looks like they've already scooped up that, so we can dismiss everybody when they're all done. All right, excellent. So now here we have our second runway, but it's not just going to be an open runway here. No, we're going to specialize because I found that when you're dealing with two runways, specializing them both will allow them to handle much more traffic than the two of them combined with just normal bulk operations. So this is going to be our departure runway. So aircraft are only allowed to leave from here, meaning that aircraft are only allowed to arrive here. So, and this is the reason why I severed the connection up here. They will be forced, regardless of which direction, even the windproofing stands. Actually, we do need a little extra windproofing here now that we're doing unidirectional. But once our money recovers, we'll do more windproofing. But airplanes land here. They taxi up to whatever offshoot they are that they want to go, and when they're ready to leave, they continue taxiing upwards and get out of our airport through this other airfield here. That, my friends, is efficient because at no point is there any reason for a plane to go down on this central spine. It is up. It's as close to having a one-way road as you can. Even though this central spine is not set to be one-way only because at the moment you can't set taxiways to be one-way, it might as well be one-way because of the flow of traffic here is in all instances always pointing upwards. Right then, so let's fast forward to the beginning of the next day. I'll repair that other airway as soon as we have some cash to our name. I don't think it will break once before then. Also, yes, it is now winter. There is no real effect of winter at the moment from what I've seen. Again, and aside from slightly delayed incoming commercial flights, but as far as the general aviation, they seem just as rabid and happy to come visit my field and pay my landing fees during the summertime as they do the wintertime. So, whatever, I'll take it. And like I said, we'll be making this back in a heartbeat. Because the morning rush hour is about to get a whole lot, not as gnarly. Even though everyone is still going to leave at approximately the same time. Oh, that's the other thing that I forgot to include here. We need to put a holding point here so that they know that it's cool. Also a holding point here. Yes? No? Yes. Holding point. Nope. Holding point. Nope. That's a weird one. Let's put the holding point there. It's still kind of married to the fact that it used to be a connection. Yeah, right now the ones that have left already think that this has to be the hard holding point, and they're waiting for the plane to completely take off. They will they'll sort themselves out now that we have the proper holding points in place. And now they can leave all the quicker because they don't have to wait their turn. They just get on the runway and go, 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 go. Meanwhile, our incoming flights are land, land, land. As soon as they show up, hey, is there room? Yes, land, land. Flights in pattern 4. So they are landing as fast as they can. And hopefully my runway doesn't break before I can afford to repair it. But no, we should be in good shape. So this allows us to handle a monumentally larger degree of air traffic, which is, well, good for us on all accounts. Yes, we do have to soak up an extra $300 per hour in operational costs, but it's worth it. And it becomes a whoop. What is your major malfunction? Oh, you need to refuel. Well, I will extend the road up there momentarily. I need to fix my runway first. Thank you. Then I'll extend the roadway up there. Completely forgot about that. Boop. All right, let's get the service road extended up here so that these guys can, yeah, I know, whine, whine, whine. How many do we need for this? 64, we'll get 64 contractors. Off you guys go. I have a feeling there will be a troll box, so I'm going to keep an eye on things here. Yep, there's the troll box. And they're off to the races. Any more troll boxes? No? Good. These error messages will go away momentarily once they can successfully path to it. Yeah, we're already getting a lot of wear and tear on our outgoing one with the morning rush hour blowing out of there. But that is good for me. Yeah, it is a vehicle. I can't find our way here. It's probably going to sit there until we get a plane that requires fueling, and then it'll realize, oh, wait a minute, I can actually path here. And yes, these guys are still happy as a clam. Now, I have a couple more of these that I want to do. Yep, there, see, this guy requested fuel, and it realized, oh yes, now we can get there. So we're going to get a couple more stands before we get ready for our next major transition here. Get you in place. And you in place. We'll just... I'm being lazy now. We'll just grab a 10 and call it a day and know that that'll be enough. Probably a bit more than enough. But that's fine. Troll box. Troll box. No troll box. Okay, good. Oh yeah, we've got to remember to connect this here. Open stand, general aviation. And maybe we can sneak in another aircraft? Maybe. No? Oh well. It is a little bit late. So we'll go ahead and repair these. The repair costs don't actually increase with the fact that we're using 2 runways here. Only because it gets damaged per use. And since the uses are now spread out between the two landing strips here, then, you know, we're not really paying that much more, except for the fact that we're probably handling a bit more traffic. But because we're handling more traffic, we're getting more landing fees, so in a way, the airplanes pay for their own damn repairs, and then some. So we're in good shape here. I am going to go ahead and fast forward once again. And look at that, we're making a tidy profit even at night, just from people sitting on the tarmac and paying our overnight fees. But it gets even better once we're in the daytime and getting our stuff up and running here. So we're going to get ourselves one more stand up and running, and then that's pretty much it for the general aviation phase. We are then going to move onwards and upwards to the commercial phase. Or rather, we're going to start moving into the commercial phase. It takes a lot of prep work to make the transition from general aviation to commercial. General aviation has a lot going for it in the fact that you need very little infrastructure. I mean, yes, we did need this road network in order to get the avgas up and running, but that's really not bad. That's not bad. You know, you don't need facilities. You don't need toilets. You don't need employees. I mean, aside from our two committee members, our airport has no employees. And yet we are handling all these general aviation flights without issue. We have very low expenses for what we're doing. So a lot of the money that we're making here is coming from the fact that we're making a modest sum, well, a slightly less modest sum, thanks to our CFO, but we have very low expenses, so a lot of that is profit, which allows us to just turn more and more of it back into the business, back into the airport, and allows us to continue growing exponentially. Now, again, we are going to run into caps. We're going to run into logical bottlenecks where you can't just continue growing in the same direction on and on. I mean, yes, with the 2 runways, we could go nuts with general aviation, but even then it would reach a point where this central spine would be overtaxed, and ultimately, even if we max out on general aviation, that's still going to be peanuts to what you can pull in with a properly set up commercial airlines. So this stand right here is going to be the last of our general aviation stands. Will be good to start transitioning and saving up afterwards. 0000000. Did I set my taxiway? I did. Good. All right, they're doing their thing. No troll boxes, so we can dismiss. And general aviation you go. There we go. All right, I am pretty happy with what we've got here so far. You know, our general aviation is flowing quite smoothly. There are no traffic bottlenecks. We are making copious amounts of money on these. I mean, the fact, as soon as one enters our airfield, we get 800 and we are guaranteed another 800 when they leave. Not to mention how much they've paid. Now they're paying a proper parking fee. The only gimme that we're really giving away wholesale here is the fuel. Which the fuel we're still technically making a profit on. It's just such a narrow margin that we're not really going to count on the fuel to be a source of income directly. But again, it allows us to spike the prices and keep our general aviation nice and happy. So now, what we're going to do in terms of our transition to our next level here, our next phase, if you will, is we want to lay down the foundations to our buildings. We are actually going to be building terminal buildings and structures and whatnot. And what I found is, well, yes, you do want to generally hold off on building things until all the things that are needed to make the thing work are built. I find it a lot easier to start with the foundations and get them all built and then start pre-planning and filling them up in order to make use of them. So here's what we are going to do. Go to structures, foundations, and here's the reason why I was spacing this out in here. We're going to throw down a 15 by 10 foundation right here. Boom! That's 30K by itself. And then once we've built up ourselves another 30K, which will be actually momentarily at the rate that we're making money, we're going to build another 15 by 10. From here, 15 by 10 facing downwards. Like so. Now, before I go ahead and sick my builders on this, I'd like to get some rudimentary, not amenities to it, but just structural stuff. Namely the doors. I want to get the doors in place. That way they don't trap themselves in the middle. And we get sort of the basic shell, so I can use that as a focal point for the rest of my stuff. Now, let me just do a little mental measurement here. Goes right there. Excellent. And then here we're going to go, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, right about there. So that'll be the door over there, and we're going to have a little crosswalk between these two. And that's about all we need for the basic shell. That's not to say that we're not going to be building other walls and other doors within these, but just to get the total size and footprint of what we're going to be dealing with in the next episode in place, that's what we want to do. And of course, with a building construction project this large, we need all hands on deck. Now, while our constructor crew goes to town here, one other bit of maintenance that you're probably going to be neglecting, while we have been extremely diligent about repairing our runways here, and you really do need to be diligent about repairing your runways, your stands can very quickly deteriorate without you noticing it. So now's about the time you're going to want to go through all of your stands, and the ones that are at the very least desperate for it should get some much needed repairs. Thankfully they rebalanced the stand repair price here so that these are not quite so expensive. Pretty much all the stands except for the ones you just built need repairs. These four up here, these do not need repairs. They're fine. But all those original stands, our workhorses here, those deserve to get themselves some repairs. All right, folks. So I think what we'll do here is we'll fast forward here a bit, let our construction crew do their thing, and at the beginning of our next episode, probably after we've let one more day pass so that we can build up our funds, we will start in the process of preparing for commercial aviation and all the wonderful intricacies that contain within that. So, if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback is always welcome. So, until next time, this has been Pinstar, signing out. See ya.